Squad, what's poppin'? Okay, this next one is serious, and I mean serious. I'm pretty sure you guys have been on social media scrolling and you've seen this gentleman's face all over social media. Antoine Massie, one of the team that escaped, and he has his story to tell. Remember, there's always three sides to a story: yours, theirs, and the truth. So you just never know when it comes to these things, and you already know how the justice system get down. You know what I'm saying? They be trying to put some dirt on your name or some smut on your name just because you had some past dealings with the law. You just never know. I mean, just because you did something in your past, does that mean you would do it in your present? Sometimes, but then there's other cases where people change, and hey, it's easier to pin something like that on somebody because they already have it on their record. And that's why I say, man, fake allegations really hurt because it's not whether you're found guilty or not, it's the stain that sticks. It's always going to be on your record. It's always going to be there for people to see, and it's always going to be there for people to judge. Now, I'm not the type of person that judge because this happened to me before. Now, my name was cleared, but at the end of the day, it still stains you. It still stains your record. It doesn't matter whether you were found guilty or not. It's just one of those things. So that being said, let's get into it. Let's see what he got to say, because he goes out and he pleads. He needs help, man. He did not have a lawyer. He had a public defender, which we already know are piled up to their necks, man, like you're buried in paperwork, and all they're trying to do is settle your case. If you had a private attorney, they probably would have looked into things and they would have figured things out and said, hey, there's a clerical error here. There's something wrong here. This ain't right. How's he getting charged for the same thing twice? You know what I'm trying to say? So at the end of the day, it's one of them things where it's like, what's really going on here? So let's hear the man out, see what he got to say. If you're new to the channel, forget to comment, scrap thumbs up, and slap that red button. All right, let's get into it.
I'm one of the ones that was let out of GC. What I want to talk about today is as far as why I was in Orleans Parish Jail. I was in custody for almost 8 months. All right, 6 months, something like that. I was in there for theft of a motor vehicle, and that's what I was in Orleans Parish for. Okay, but before I was in Orleans Parish, I was in a jail called St. Tammany Detention Center. All right, St. Tammany Jail here in St. Tammany Parish. There's two different parishes, Orleans and St. Tammany. Okay, today what I want to talk about is that I was on second-degree kidnapping, second-degree involving domestic violation of protective order, right? On this woman right here, her name is Diamond White. That's her name. This is a district attorney drop form right here. And she's not a child. She's an adult, a full adult. I was dating this woman. This is a legalized affidavit saying all allegations against me is false. All allegations against me is false. I was nowhere around her or none of that during the timing of the date, which was November the 10th of 2024. Okay, so I was in St. Tammany, right, and I was on a regular domestic charge, right. So they put a parole hold on me because I was on a domestic charge. So with that being said, is that once that occurred, and the charges was refused or whatever, they shipped me to Orleans Parish where I had more charges. It was the theft of a motor vehicle and the. So once I got in Orleans Parish Jail, all right, I have from the district attorney's office, this woman who they say that I had raped in another parish and in Orleans Parish, it's the same woman here. It's not different females, it's the same grown woman, not a child, a grown woman.
Okay. So from what I'm gathering is you're getting charged twice in two parishes for the same accusation, for the same alleged crimes that you've done. But one was supposedly dropped. There's paperwork there, and they ain't trying to hear it. It was supposed to be dropped, but it's not dropped. They revisited this is kind of confusing. I'm not gonna lie, and this is exactly why you need a lawyer, man. This is why you need a good lawyer that can advocate for you. Because if this is exactly how he went and presented himself in front of the judge, it does get a little confusing. But I am breaking it down. You had this same charge in the other parish, Santini Parish, and then over here in the Orleans Parish. They try to hit you with the same thing. It was supposedly dropped. It was proven to be not false, or the person came and said, hey, you know what? This really didn't happen. That's what I'm understanding from right now, but you're still getting hit with the charge. And you was on parole, but that denied everything else, because here's one thing. If you get hit with a charge while you got picked up for a charge, now you a violator. Now you violated. So you know what I'm saying? So now you're a parole violator. So that's what I'm picking up. I don't know if he was on parole first. Like I said, it seems like he's going backwards, forwards, then backwards. So it's kind of hard to understand, but I get it. You know, when you're sitting there trying to articulate yourself, it doesn't always happen, and you don't always express yourself in the way that most people can digest the information and understand the information. And like I said, this is why lawyers are very important. But let's get back to what he's saying.
He said that I initially raped in another parish and in Orleans Parish. It's the same woman here. It's not different females. It's the same grown woman, not a child, a grown woman. Okay, she did the same thing in Orleans Parish, right? Correct. I'm about to show you how the system is corrupted. Okay, she did this, right? Saying all allegations against me is false, and she even saying it. You know, she let her know the truth, that I never did this to her. I never hit her. I was nowhere around her. Nothing. She got mad and thought that I was dealing with another woman. That's why she did what she did to me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so if I'm understanding this right, the initial charge was because the girl he was with thought he was with somebody else and called the cops and made a false report, allegedly made a false report. Like I said, I've been through this before, so I know how these things go. So that's why I like to hear everybody out and see what they have to say, because I've been through it. You know what I mean? Now, the problem is when you're charged with it and you're actually found guilty of it, I'll tell you right now, it's an uphill battle no matter how much evidence comes out, because a lot of times in different states, even if the person doesn't want to press charges, what will end up happening is the state will pick up the charge, because a lot of times what will happen is the victim is too scared to testify or to come forth, or they just forgive the person, because a lot of times it's domestic. It's, you know, you guys are in love, and, you know, either you said it out of anger or you just don't want them to go away because you miss them. Now, either or could be the case, but let's keep listening.
Another thing too, once I got into Orleans Parish, I was there for like a month or something like that. Okay, a lot went on as that time progressed. Okay, if you was an innocent person and you know the judges and DA know that this person is saying that all the charges that you're on that you did not do, why was you still in jail? Louisiana have the highest incarceration rate in the world for putting black people away. Yes, at the end of the day, in my younger life, I'm not gonna lie, I was causing problems. I was young. My daddy got killed when I was 7 years old. My mom had to raise 4 children by herself, so I had to find a way to try to help my mother. You feel what I'm saying?
All right, so what I'm gathering is that he's been through some problems in the past. He has a sketchy past where he did a lot of things that he's not proud of, but he feels like that's the reason why these charges are sticking, is because whatever he had on the past, they're trying to use that in the present in order to convict him, and that's what they did. Now, that being said, the lawyer thing is gonna make all the difference, because you got these public defenders that are buried up to the wall with just nothing but paperwork and cases. They are going to try to plead out. They are not going to work in your best interest. They are not going to dive into things that a private attorney can do and will do. Now don't get me wrong. If you don't have the money, then I guess you're up shit's creek. So in his case, he's stuck with these allegations that are, I think he was found guilty for them, if I'm not mistaken. He's been found guilty for them, and that's the reason why he's inside, because he would be considered a violator, if he was on parole. So I mean, he'd be a parole violator now. But it seems like they're trying to hit him with the same charge twice. Either over here got dismissed, and then over here they brought it back up, and then they found it to be valid, and they found a way to make the charge stick. Most prisons are private. Most of these prisons are private. If you do not have inmates inside the cells, you are not getting paid. Most prisons get paid. I forgot what it is. It's a ridiculous amount per day, per week. I think it's like six and change. So they profit on having prisoners. I mean, they have no problem having prisoners. More people they have in there, the more money they make. They are paid by the federal government. All right, let's keep it moving.
But as time went on, the person that I once was, I'm not that person today. That is not who I am. I have a 3-year-old son. I have an 18-year-old daughter that graduated yesterday, supposed to be. At the end of the day, that people don't understand, that they see that I'm armed and dangerous. I have a heart. People that know me know that at the end of the day, I am a good person. So I'm asking for help from the world, from Meek Mills, Lil Wayne, Young Boy, Donald Trump. I'm asking for these people. I couldn't even get a lawyer. I couldn't even afford a lawyer to prove my innocence while I was in Orleans Parish Jail. They said that I broke out. I didn't break out. I was let out. My name is Antoine Massie. The guy who said that
So that's where the ambiguity comes in, because they said you broke out. They have you as breaking out. Now, I know there are situations where there's clerical errors and you're supposed to be let out 6 months from now, and you're being let out early. And if you don't speak up and you just walk out, because most people do, they'll be like, I'm out of here, you end up becoming a fugitive. Even though it's their error, they're not going to, take responsibility or take accountability for their error, So I'm telling you right now, if you inside and you know when your release date is and you get out earlier than that, you better talk to somebody, because otherwise you're going to be found as a fugitive. That's going to add on more years. Clerical error or not, they are not going to accept responsibility. Him not having a lawyer puts him in this position because, I mean, I'm pretty sure he had, a state-funded lawyer, which is basically like not having a lawyer at all, because they're just going to try to plead down to whatever they can, get the case done, and move on to the next one, because they're buried in cases. So he's pleading with Meek Mill, Trump, everybody to look into his case, which, I mean, if he's innocent, rightfully so, I don't see why he would go to these extremes and these measures to do that. He has paperwork, legitimate paperwork. I could see that it's legitimate paperwork. It has names and everything on it. That, hey, he might be telling the truth. This might be true. He might have other crimes that he should be serving time for, but not these particular crimes. These particular crimes, I mean, could put you away for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Especially, taking somebody against their will. That'll definitely give you some time. You know what I'm saying? And all the domestic stuff altogether makes you to be a violent offender, and you're a detriment to society. So I understand why one would go to these lengths and this extreme to be like, hey, I'm trying to clear my name. I need help here. And the only thing I could say, man, you got to get in touch with whoever you can, but put that paperwork where somebody cannot find it, only you knows. And then when you get the proper legal representation, you can have them go dig that up or go pick it up or do whatever. I know there's this Justice League or something like that they try to help people that, are falsely accused and they're falsely imprisoned. In a situation like this, they would come and help you out. So I would say, listen, somebody from your family or whatever, try to get in contact with me. I can see what I can do. If all the paperwork looks right, I have no problem trying to help and use my platform to get to the end, to the bottom of what's going on. But again, I don't know the particulars. I'm just going on what I've been seeing. All right, let's get back to it.
Threaten him with a shank, the maintenance guy. How could I threaten you with a shank? If you can't come around me, you're a maintenance. You cannot come on the tills without a deputy being behind you. Because if they just let you on the till, you could be persuaded to bring drugs or anything like that nature. So how can I threaten you to jail you? And why you didn't notify the people, the police, that if I did threaten you, You never did that. Like, you flat out lied on me. Sterling flat out lied on me.
Massie also specifically calls out Sterling Williams, a maintenance worker accused of turning off the water in the cell from which Massie and 9 others escaped.
And I want to let the media know that from the straight tattoos in my face and things of that nature, of course they're going to believe Sterling.
On social media and call Sterling a liar when I have already been out there saying, this is not what we are saying happened.
You know what I'm saying? I never told Sterling nothing. I'm willing to take a lie detector test and everything behind that. But that's another subject. Orleans Parish is one of the corruptedest jails. That in St. Tammany Parish is the corruptedest jails in the state of Louisiana. Why was I even incarcerated with a woman saying that this never happened? This is this woman's name. This is the charge, domestic abuse discrimination. This is about the shit in St. Tammany. Why was I in Orleans Parish? Why was I even in jail? That's what I'm trying to show y'all.
Okay, so I'm seeing that as 2 documents of the same accusation. I don't know if you was charged. If you was charged twice, that's double jeopardy, number one. I mean, you can't be charged twice for the same crime. I don't know if one was dismissed and then they brought it back up. I'm not sure, but that'd be double jeopardy, so that makes no sense. So right there, you got a case if it is double jeopardy. It doesn't matter. That's double jeopardy. You cannot be charged for the same crime twice. Just letting y'all know. You can't. They can't. They can't charge you for the same crime that you committed again. You know what I mean? After it's done and over with, dismissed or whatever, they cannot charge you for that same crime. But let's get it. Like, if you was already charged for it and then they try to recharge you for it, they can't do that. Just to hold you longer, nah.
That's why I left the jail. And they have a lot more brothers that's innocent, just like me, that's trying to prove they're innocent. That's why they ran. Jason Williams, the sheriff, Susan Hudson, these people are corrupted. These people was talking to St. Tammany and telling St. Tammany they going to sentence me behind this and telling St. Tammany if they can't get me, St. Tammany going to get me. You see what I'm saying? Behind a woman that's a grown adult that never stated that I ever raped her. They have a detective that's over the case that's trying to pursue charges on me because of my prior history. Who I was in the past is not who I am today. So I'm asking for the media. I don't even have a lawyer to help me. I'm asking for help. That's why I ran. You feel me? I'm a grown man. I have kids. I have a mother. I have a baby mother, a child, my children mother. Like it's a lot going on. And that's why I ran. I need help. You feel what I'm saying? Orleans Parish and St. Tammany is one of the corruptest parish in the world. And I'm asking for help. There's a lot of corruption, jiggins, all type of stuff going on, and they covering it up. They don't care about nothing in the state of Louisiana. This is something that needs to go under a federal investigation.
And y'all already know that this does happen, and it's been happening. And, you know, it's been happening for a very long time. And, you know, they get away with it. They get away with it. And, you know, when they don't get away with it, you know, they end up getting sued. So a lot of times when somebody is charged of something or found guilty of something, it don't matter how much. You can have it in 4K that person wasn't there, he didn't do it. Don't matter. It's still an uphill battle because at the end of the day, they don't want to go through the legal lawsuit. They'll try to find ways to poke holes that maybe you were a conspirator or something just to keep you inside. And it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Our system isn't perfect. There are some corruptions. It is the best system, but not for everybody. Not for everybody, especially if what he is alleging to be, you know, true. He's saying that this is true. This is what's really going on with him. If this is really going on with him, this is a sad situation, man, that needs to be exposed. Now, I'm not picking sides here because I really don't know him. I don't know the man. I don't know what he did. But just because he has some priors doesn't mean he did it today. Like, people do change, you know. Like I said, allegations can stain. That's why I tell people, man, be careful when you allege something on somebody, you know, because that never goes away, no matter what. And it could be used against you in other cases. It's called, you know, character. You know, they basically they're making an allegation. They're making these judgments based on character. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean they have everything, you know? It's just crazy. It's not actual evidence, you know? It's not without a benefit of a doubt. You have to have it without a benefit of a doubt. Yeah, it seems like you could have did it, but don't mean you have enough.
What's going on? How they having cases? Why Antoine Massie was in jail if the woman, the victim, the grown woman, not a child, the grown woman stated that he never raped her, he never beat her, he was nowhere in her presence. This is the affidavits on the thing right here. This is the drop form from the district attorney office. This woman when did this. I didn't do this. Look, it's legally dated. So I'm asking pleas for help. Young boy, Meek Mills, people, LBL, you know what I'm saying? People that been through the system that know it's corrupt. Lil Wayne, Donald Trump, please, I'm asking for help. You know what I'm saying? When I get back in custody, I'm asking y'all please to come help. You feel what I'm saying? I'm asking the world to let y'all know I'm not a raper, man. I'm not none of that. None of that. I'm a good person. I am a father that want to be in my children's life. You know what I'm saying? I want to let the younger youth know that going down the route of trying to be a street person is not the route. That's what type of person I am. Yes, I was lied on. They made certain lie on me. All the guys they picked me for him to lie on. I'm not saying Sterling a bad guy, but why did you pick me to lie on, bro? It's bigger than Sterling. I don't know why they picked me for him to lie on, but I never threatened Sterling. Never. How could I threaten Sterling or hurt Sterling? He cannot come on a tip with me without a deputy being present. My name is Antoine Massie. I'm asking for help. I was one of the ones that was let out Orleans Parish Jail on May the 16th or May the 15th, 2025. So please, Meek Mills, Donald Trump, Lil Wayne, please help me. Lil Wayne, this is Big Antoine's son that's talking right now. I'm Lil Antoine. I was in your mama wedding when she married Rabbit. I was the ring boy, Lil Wayne.
All right. So, like I said, he's not the best advocate for himself, and that's the reason why he needs an attorney to go through all the paperwork. Because one minute he said that she got upset because she thought he was dating somebody. I don't know, man. It's kind of confusing listening to you because you go forwards and backwards. And I'm not judging you because I know how it is when you're under pressure. You know what I'm saying? Right now, you don't know if they're about to kick that door in and grab you up right now. And you just trying to, you're trying to exempt yourself from the situation. But what happens here, man, you running is not going to be a good look for you. Whether they let you out or not. And then you said they let you out, but then you said that, you was one of the ones that took off. So I really don't know what it is. I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to hold no judgment because I know how things, get crazy with the legal system. And I know how you trying to advocate for yourself. A lot of times that's why they say you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will, because of the fact that they will use it against you, especially if you don't know how to articulate yourself in a way. And I get it. I'm guilty of that all the time. I have ADHD. I jump all over the place. So there's a lot of ambiguity to a lot of times things that I say, but I have been in a situation like this where I was accused of things before and, they were false. And, of course they ended up, clearing themselves up, but it doesn't matter. It don't mean that the stain's not there. The stain is definitely there, and just because you've done stuff in the past, they automatically assume you're guilty. I get it. If I was you, I would definitely, put that paperwork away. Hopefully they get this man some help. I could use my platform to help in whichever way you can. If you want to send paperwork over, copies of paperwork, I could go through it. And if I feel like it's legit, hey, we'll run with it. If it's not, then I'm going to have to expose it for what it is. But, hey, if you need help, you could definitely have somebody hit us up. Because, I have somebody else that, I usually do my reactions with, and she can help you out as well, man. Man, these systems are corrupt, so I don't put it past them. But at the end of the day, people are people, so you can't put anything past anybody. You know what I mean? But there are real people that are, end up in these situations, where they end up on the wrong side when they're young, and unfortunately, that stays with them for the rest of their life. So no matter what else they do, they're guilty, no matter what. Y'all let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that he's telling the truth? Do you think that this could be like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you know, injustice? Do you think that, you know, he's unjustifiably behind bars? I mean, either or. I mean, these are some heinous crimes that he's being accused of, but does that mean it's true? Doesn't always necessarily mean it's true. Y'all put it in the comments. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to comment, subscribe, thumbs up. We out of here.